These referees are calling, they're blind. Like, I don't know what they're calling or they're told to call. I don't know if it's the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, calling these, making them do these goofy calls. It's not good basketball. It's pretty obvious. The fans see it. I mean, it's blatant.
The WNBA is facing an unprecedented storm as fans, players, and analysts rally together demanding the suspension of Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Many accuse her of orchestrating systemic bias against the league's brightest rising star, Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever's sensational rookie has been subjected to relentless physical aggression, dubious officiating calls, and what seems to be a calculated effort to undermine her influence on the court.
Is the Caitlin Clark effect? And here is what Google told me. The Caitlin Clark effect refers to the significant increase in popularity and visibility of women's basketball, particularly in the WNBA, driven by the rising star of Caitlin Clark. Her record-breaking performances and engaging personality have captivated audiences, leading to increased attendance, media coverage, and overall interest in the
Clark, now sidelined by injury and growing evidence of favoritism towards select teams. The basketball community has reached a critical tipping point, one that endangers the core of women's professional basketball. At the heart of the controversy lie persistent officiating errors, a glaring bias against Clark, and Commissioner Engelbert's failure to effectively address escalating concerns over player safety and the integrity of the competition.
The chickens was coming home to roost for the WNBA, because I'm telling you right now, there has been a lot of spooky things going on and people is tired of it. And quite frankly, the viewership is going down. See, the viewership was supposed to have been going up exponential, bang, how it took off last year. And I'm here to tell you that is not happening. Only team that is averaging 1 million views per game and looking like it's on track to maintain their viewership for the most.
Tensions erupted on May 26, 2025, when the Indiana Fever confirmed that Caitlin Clark would be out for a minimum of 2 weeks due to a left quadriceps strain. This injury followed a highly contentious game against the New York Liberty, during which Clark logged nearly 38 minutes on the court while facing what numerous observers described as intentional and aggressive physical targeting.
I'm telling you right now, man, Caitlin Clark's shot was off, bro. These last couple games, she was not shooting well from three. We all seen it. She's missing a bunch of shots. I believe Caitlin Clark been hurt, bro.
The timing couldn't be more suspect. Just as Clark was cementing her status as the WNBA's breakout superstar, she's sidelined with an injury after enduring months of what fans are labeling systematic mistreatment. But here's where it gets truly unbelievable. This isn't about a single injury or one rough game. It's a glaring, unmistakable pattern so blatant that even casual fans are beginning to wonder if they are witnessing a genuine sporting contest or a carefully orchestrated spectacle meant to keep the league's brightest star under control.
I can come to is they want it to fail.
They're calling hand check fouls on their biggest player. Could you imagine LeBron getting hand check fouls, or anybody, SGA, whomever, the biggest star is getting hand check? Yes, it may not be the only reason, but it doesn't help. You're absolutely right. But yes, you're sitting that star player, that cash cow, on the bench. And honestly, she is WNBA. Caitlin Clark is the only reason people are watching.
Sells out home and away.
Yes.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Caitlin Clark's treatment stands in stark contrast to the league's heavy reliance on her star power for marketing. While Commissioner Engelbert has praised Clark's game-changing impact on WNBA revenue and media deals, her administration has simultaneously allowed referees to turn a blind eye to excessive physical play against Clark. The stats don't lie, and they tell a story that would make even the most skeptical sports fans raise an eyebrow. Game footage and data analysis expose a disturbing pattern. Officials consistently overlook fouls committed against Clark while penalizing her for minor infractions. In one instance, Clark was hit with a technical foul simply for saying "come on" too loudly after opposing players repeatedly went unpunished for fouls. This blatant double standard has fueled accusations that referees are deliberately swallowing their whistles to limit her dominance. Now, consider this staggering fact. Caitlin Clark has been the target of 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire WNBA this season. Pause and let that sink in. One player, among hundreds in the league, has absorbed nearly a fifth of the most serious fouls called. But it gets even more outrageous. 80% of those flagrant fouls came from just one team, the Chicago Sky. The odds of that happening by chance? Practically zero. You'd have a better shot at winning the lottery while being struck by lightning on a leap year.
That's worth paying the money for. Caitlin Clark comes along. What do, WNBA? You beat her up. You treat her like crap. You treat her like she's dog doo-doo, dude. I never seen this in any sport, bro.
Data reveals a narrative the WNBA leadership seems eager to overlook. A thorough review of the 2024 season shows that out of 35 flagrant fouls called league-wide, Caitlin Clark was targeted with 6, an alarmingly high figure. To put this in context, other stars like Satu Sabley received 4 flagrant fouls over 38 games, and Aerial Powers absorbed 5 in 35 games. But unlike Clark, these players weren't singled out by specific teams the way she has been. Now, let's zero in on the Chicago Sky. This is where the line between conspiracy theory and documented fact begins to blur. The Sky didn't just commit flagrant fouls against Clark. They practically made it their modus operandi. 4 of the 5 flagrant fouls Clark suffered in 2024 were inflicted by Chicago players. This isn't fierce competition. It's a deliberate campaign aimed at intimidation and injury. What makes it even more infuriating is that everyone witnessed it unfold. Fans flooded social media with outrage. Coaches lodged complaints with officials, and analysts meticulously recorded every missed call. Yet, Commissioner Engelbert and the officiating team carried on as if nothing was amiss, treating this targeted aggression as routine rivalry rather than the blatant abuse it clearly is.
This is what I'm going to say about this situation, is the Fever players, you got to know, this is how they're going to ref your games. They're going to let Caitlin Clark be held, be hand-checked, have her arm chopped, and they're barely going to call fouls because of players are going to get away with what they get away with. If you allow a player to foul a player all game long, guess what? They're going to foul them all.
If you thought the flagrant foul numbers were shocking, wait until you hear about the officiating debacles that have marred Clark's games. Take the recent matchup against the New York Liberty. What should have been a shining moment for the league's rising star instead turned into a textbook example of how to manipulate a basketball game while preserving plausible deniability. The referees displayed such blatant bias that even casual viewers started questioning their competence, or worse, their integrity. Clark was relentlessly hammered on drive after drive, with contact so obvious that even slow-motion replays couldn't hide it. Yet the whistles stayed silent. Meanwhile, Liberty players were drawing phantom fouls on the slightest touch, resulting in a free throw disparity so lopsided it looked like the game was fixed. Coach Stephanie White didn't hold back after the game, calling the officiating fundamentally unfair. And this isn't a hot-headed rookie coach venting frustration. White is a seasoned veteran who knows the game inside and out. When coaches with that level of experience start doubting the integrity of officiating, it signals that the issue has escalated beyond mere incompetence to something far more troubling. The most glaring example came in the dying seconds, when Clark drove to the basket with a chance to tie the game. The foul was undeniable, the contact clear, but the referees swallowed their whistles, letting New York skate away with an undeserved victory. Moments like this make fans wonder if they are witnessing real competition or a scripted outcome.
Oh, it was terrible. We absolutely know the refereeing was shocking. Like, it was one of the worst referee games I've ever seen down the stretch. Like, it looked like it was rigged. It looked like it was rigged. There's no other way to describe it. It looked like it was rigged. I'm not saying it was rigged. I don't think it was rigged. It looked like it was rigged. And I tweeted this out last night. That if the WNBA is not rigged, they're doing a great job of looking like.
This brings us to the core issue. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's glaring failure to confront what may be the most blatant officiating scandal in recent WNBA history. Despite overwhelming evidence, mounting fan outrage, and repeated player complaints, Engelbert has remained noticeably silent on the systematic targeting of the league's brightest star. But Engelbert's troubles extend well beyond the Caitlin Clark controversy. She has already drawn sharp criticism for her tone-deaf responses to racism and harassment within the league. When confronted about the rampant social media abuse and racial harassment directed at WNBA players, Engelbert's dismissive answers sparked immediate backlash from athletes across the board. Her consistent inability to tackle serious problems with the urgency and seriousness they demand has become a troubling pattern, one that fans and players alike are no longer willing to accept. The Clark situation has merely peeled back the curtain on what many have quietly suspected for months. Engelbert is either unwilling or incapable of safeguarding the league's stars from blatant bias and targeted aggression. Whether due to conscious favoritism towards select franchises or sheer incompetence, the outcome is the same. The WNBA's credibility is being chipped away, one missed call at a time.
The WNBA referee question, he stated she could have got a bunch of calls, but she just skipped right over it.
I think, again, that's why this year sustain the momentum we had last year and gain even new viewers, because if you look at, we're up triple digits in every category, in every demographic, and young people, old people, young girls and boys were having watch parties and watching our games. So it was incredible.
This is so bad. She avoided the WNBA referee questions about the calls with the physical.
Perhaps the most revealing element of this entire controversy is the extraordinary response from fans. WNBA supporters aren't just voicing frustration over bad calls, they are mobilizing. They are gathering video evidence, compiling statistics, and demanding sweeping reform. Social media is saturated with footage of blatant no calls on Caitlin Clark, data exposing officiating bias, and an ever-growing chorus demanding accountability. What's unfolding is more than fan outrage. It's a grassroots uprising unlike anything professional sports has seen. Supporters are uniting not just to defend a player, but to challenge a system they believe is failing her. And that's because Clark isn't just another rookie. She's a generational force who has transformed the WNBA almost overnight. Attendance is surging, television ratings are climbing, and the league is finally commanding the mainstream attention it has long craved. And yet, instead of safeguarding this unprecedented momentum, league leadership seems content to let Clark take hit after hit, both literally and figuratively. The irony is stunning. The WNBA has finally landed the superstar it has spent decades waiting for. A magnetic talent capable of drawing in casual viewers, sparking headlines, and redefining the league's future. But the response from officials and administrators suggests a deeper, more troubling priority: protecting entrenched power structures rather than nurturing the very talent capable of elevating the league to new heights.
Stephanie White, she just admitted that she got fined. For what? She just got fined for saying she wants the officiating to be fair.
What makes this moment so devastating for the WNBA is the timing. Women's professional basketball is in the midst of an unprecedented surge. New fans are discovering the game, and longtime supporters are more engaged than ever. Caitlin Clark's rookie season was meant to be a celebration of that momentum, a breakthrough moment for a league on the verge of joining the ranks of major professional sports. Instead, we're watching a slow-motion collapse that threatens to unravel everything the WNBA has fought to build. New viewers who tuned in to witness Clark's brilliance are being met with blatant bias, questionable officiating, and a league that appears more invested in preserving narratives than delivering fair, competitive basketball. These aren't diehard basketball purists who'll stick it out regardless. They're casual fans who will simply move on if the product feels tainted or scripted. Clark's injury has become the ultimate symbol of the WNBA's broader dysfunction. Here's a once-in-a-generation talent, someone who has brought more attention, excitement, and revenue to the league than anyone since Diana Taurasi. And she's been systematically targeted, beaten down, and ultimately sidelined. And it all could have been avoided with competent, consistent officiating. In failing to protect its biggest asset, the WNBA risks alienating the very audience it has finally captured and squandering the most important opportunity in its history.
The reason why the merch sales are what they are, the reason why there's such potential for the future is because Caitlin Clark can flat out play basketball. She is that one. She really is. And if you didn't realize it before she got injured, you certainly realize it right now, unless you're putting blinders on and absolutely pretending. The Caitlin Clark effect is all those things that I said, but those things all hinge on the fact that she is a basketball talent unlike we have ever seen in the women's basketball.
The calls for Commissioner Engelbert's suspension aren't just emotional outbursts from angry fans. They reflect a legitimate demand for accountability from a leadership structure that has failed at its most fundamental responsibility. Multiple league sources suggest that pressure is building behind the scenes, with team owners and executives increasingly questioning Engelbert's handling of mounting controversies. Whether she's ultimately suspended, forced to resign, or weathers the storm, one thing is clear: the damage to the WNBA's credibility may already be done. And it may take more than a leadership change to rebuild the trust that's been lost.
This league is a joke. Kathy Engelbert should be ashamed of herself and just resign. She's garbage for this league. She's a garbage. They need a new commissioner, bro. They need me as commissioner. First of all, cut all this crap out. Let's just play some freaking basketball. Make the league about basketball. Isn't it a basketball league? Make it about...
The Caitlin Clark controversy has laid bare deep-rooted issues within the WNBA. Problems that extend far beyond any single officiating crew, commissioner, or controversial call. What we're witnessing is a crisis of leadership, integrity, and vision. The league now stands at a pivotal crossroads. It can either continue down the path of inconsistent officiating and administrative paralysis, risking the alienation of its most marketable star and the millions of fans she's brought with her, or it can enact meaningful reform that prioritizes fairness, player safety, and long-term credibility. The choice should be clear. But given the WNBA's track record under current leadership, nothing can be assumed. Caitlin Clark deserves better. The fans deserve better. And the future of women's professional basketball depends on the league's willingness to confront these failures head-on. The clock is ticking. With each day of silence, each game marred by controversy, the WNBA edges closer to squandering the greatest opportunity in its history.